What up, everybody? Welcome back to TheScottSpot. I hope you're all having a great life. I know it's been a long time since I spoke to you here on YouTube. I am still streaming over on Twitch at twitch.tv/the_Scott_spot. And I occasionally have Corey on there as well. The other day, we did a Zelda game tier list, and I thought that was too good to not preserve, so I'm putting it out on YouTube for y'all to enjoy. Okay, hope to see you soon. Alright. So, I haven't finished Link Between Worlds yet. So, is it fair that I rank it?
We should only rank the ones we've played.
I've played it, though, but I haven't finished it.
I feel like we need to finish it.
Alright, so
y'all, we're not going to rank, like, every Zelda game, because we've not played every Zelda game.
Alright, so let's, ignore that. Link to the Past.
Oh, you want me to rank it?
Yeah, tell me what you would rank it.
A Link to the Past. For me, A Link to the Past... For me, I know this is probably a hot take, but for me, it's S tier. I love A Link to the Past. It's my second Zelda game that I ever played. And for me, it's the first Zelda game that I actually got to like play by myself on my own with my own Super Nintendo. And it was my second Super Nintendo game. And to this day, I can still go back and play that game and enjoy it.
I've literally watched him beat this game like 3 times at least.
So for me, Link to the Past, S tier.
All right. So how do we do this? How do we come to an agreement then,
I don't know.
if I feel differently?
I don't know.
So I would say the Link to the Past is B tier because I am personally not a big fan of 2D Zeldas, and I find Link to the Past to be uncompelling and boring. Well, boring is the wrong word. Not interesting. But I acknowledge that it's a good game that set the course for Zelda. So I would say B. So let's put Link to the Past in A to compromise.
Rude. Thank you.
We can adjust this later. Alright, next up, Breath of the Wild.
S tier. My favorite game of all time.
It is Corey's favorite game
Completely
of all
open
time.
world. It is an absolutely beautiful game. It is fun to play. It's one of those games where you can just get sucked in for hours and hours and hours and hours. And it's just like you're running around and you have a mission in mind, but then you see something over here. You're like, oh, let me go chase that. And then you see something else, and then you see something else. And before you know it, you've spent all day just doing random shit, but you've enjoyed it. You've loved it. Breath of the Wild, the best game, in my opinion. And Wild, you can go fuck yourself because you know you're wrong.
Be nice to sensitive people.
Wild knows he's wrong.
So I go between S and A myself, but I think I agree with you that there's no way I couldn't say Breath of the Wild isn't an S tier, just because it's it's iconic.
Wild, I would love to hear what makes you think it's such a bad Zelda game.
It's the best.
Is it because it's not 2D?
It has the best. The story kind of sucks a little bit, unless you.
No, the story is phenomenal. Are
No.
you kidding? When you go and talk to Impa, she tells you about the history of Hyrule and why the
history of
hero
Hyrule.
was laid to rest, and now he's come back, and now he has to come back and protect the Guardians, and the Guardians failed. Are you kidding me? That's such a good story.
All right, but that's 2 minutes out of like 150.
But that's the story.
So.
So you can't say the story sucks because it's not spread out over an hour.
This is why the story sucks. It's because it already happened. You just get it all through flashbacks.
But it's still a story.
It is a story,
But you're learning the story as you go. That's the beauty of it. Is you are 100 years in the future. You are now awakened, and you have to learn the story of what happened to get you to where you are. So you're learning the story as you go. It's not a traditional like, oh, we're going to tell the story as you travel through here and here and here. It does both. You learn a story as you go by learning the new champ. No. Hear me out. It's telling a story as you go, and it's also telling you a story of what happened in the past. is telling two stories at once.
If you bother to explore the entire world.
That's then if they didn't explore it, that's their own fault.
Most people don't.
But that's the point of the game, is to explore and learn the story. And it's your fault if you go straight to Ganon and get no story. You can't say, well, there was no story. That's your own fault.
I still feel like even if you 150% it like we did, there's still very little story.
There's a lot of story.
But because of how the gameplay and the open world and how there's something to do around every corner, I would still rank it as S tier. All right, next, Four Swords Adventure. I never
played it.
Four Swords, never played it.
Never played it.
Link's Awakening DX.
I didn't play it.
You didn't play it, but I streamed it. And I've beaten it before that, so I get to rank this. I would put Link's Awakening. I would say it's a solid B+, but personally I would put it above Link to the Past. But because we got to Link to the Past as a B, as a compromise, or as an A, I'm going to put it as an A, but below Link to the Past.
All right.
Link's Awakening is my nemesis. Oh yeah, Drew's playing that right now. All right, next up, Majora's Mask. This is my fourth favorite game of all time. You didn't like it very much, so you know I'm going to put it at S. And
I was going to put it as B.
And I like it even more than Breath of the Wild.
Well, that's because you're sick in the head.
And I definitely like it more, like way, 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 way more than Link to the Past and Link's Awakening.
I can't put it above Link to the Past.
So we're going to compromise and put it between Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Is that fair? Okay. Four Swords is F tier because
I felt like it was so recycled. And I didn't like the time limit thing. I felt like it was just for me, Majora's Mask was just a very quick, like, let's just take everything we have in Ocarina.
They made it in 1 year.
And that's the thing. They just took everything they had in Ocarina and they said, let's throw it into a quick game.
And it was still way different. And
it was way different. I'll give you that, but that doesn't make it better or great.
All right. Next up is Ocarina of Time.
Oh. For me, it's definitely going to be S tier, but it's below Breath of the Wild.
For me, I would put Ocarina above Link's Awakening, but below Majora's Mask. But you said it's above Link to the Past before, but not below Breath of the Wild.
I would put it S tier below Breath of the Wild, but it's definitely ahead of Link to the Past.
So you would put it here, like on the far left.
I would put it right behind Breath of the Wild.
Okay. But we have to compromise. So I'm going to put it between Link to the Past and Majora's Mask, even though I don't agree with that.
I would put it above Link to the Past.
You would?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said S tier.
All right, so then let's move.
Because Ocarina was, I mean, come on. If you think Zelda games these days, you think Ocarina of Time.
It is the highest rated game of all time.
It was the first 3D Zelda.
It's my least favorite 3D Zelda, but okay, we can't have.
You said listen, look and listen.
We can't have everything on S and A tier though. So.
Well, no, but it's just because you're wrong.
Well, no, we're rating a bunch of amazing games here, so we have to like split it up into different tiers. Except if you dare to place Twilight Princess below S, you're going to be in trouble.
All right, you let us get there, Mew.
All right, so next we got Oracle of Seasons and Ages. You haven't played those.
Never played it.
I will say I do think that Oracle of Seasons and Ages are worse than all the games that are on the list so far, but they are good games. So,
bye, Estes. Thanks for hanging.
Estes, thank you for hanging so much. Ages is definitely better than Seasons, so we'll put those both on C. Skyward Sword.
Okay, so here's the thing for me. I know Skyward Sword gets a lot of love, and I did enjoy
No, Skyward Sword gets a lot of hate.
Oh, I thought people generally liked it. Like, I liked the motion control, but for me, Skyward Sword just... Like, it had, like, Demise. I like that it introduced Demise. Like, that was interesting, and I like the controls. But for me, Skyward Sword... I would put it below Majora's Mask.
I think Skyward Sword has the best story ever in Zelda.
Disagree.
It has Girahim, and it explains.
Girahim's great. I love Girahim.
And it explains where the Master Sword and Link and Zelda and Ganondorf came from, and where Hyrule got originated from.
Yes, but a great story can't make up for some bad gameplay.
Well, the gameplay's not bad. A lot of people didn't like it, though.
I would put it B tier at the end.
Here?
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely put it below.
I'm not putting it above Link to the Past. There's no way.
Well, I would.
I would not.
What about between Link's Awakening and Majora's Mask?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Alrighty. You haven't played these games, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks?
Nope.
Phantom Hourglass can go solidly on the D tier to start with. I think Corey doesn't know what I'm talking about, so... Spirit Tracks can go on the C tier, below the Oracles. Why is Tears of the Kingdom already on here?
What? Not even got to play it yet. It better be S tier. Or else I will sue Nintendo for making me wait this long.
Minish Cap I streamed last year, I believe. There were some things I really didn't like about it. So I'm going to put Minish Cap between the Oracles and Spirit Tracks. Wind Waker.
Wind Waker. For me, Wind Waker...
I hated the fucking Kinstones.
Alright, so for me, Wind Waker is going to go A tier, but I can't decide if it goes above Ocarina.
You know where I'd put it. Right here.
Alright, so for me, Wind Waker is going to go, and it's close. It is very close, but I'm going to put it just behind Ocarina.
Alright, so we have to compromise. So that means it goes between Ocarina and Breath of the Wild.
Alright.
Because I would put it above Breath of the Wild. UOP's so wet, ooh. Triforce Heroes, fuck it. Alright, Twilight Princess.
Mew, here you go. Twilight Princess. So for me, and this might be a little surprising to old Scotty, but Twilight Princess, I would put S tier behind Breath of the Wild.
Above even Ocarina.
Above Ocarina. I really, really, really liked Twilight Princess.
See, I would put it like right here, which is way different.
What?
I would put it...
What?
Okay, let me rephrase. I would put it B tier, but below all these other games on B tier. But there's so many games on B tier, I feel like I need to mix it up.
No, you can't rate a game just because you say, well, there's so many games already rated here. No, it's how you feel. If they all ended up in S tier, that's fine.
Well, no, we're rating the Zelda games.
Yeah.
Against each other.
But it doesn't matter if they all end up in S tier. Then we're all rating them. We're saying they're all fantastic games, but here's how we like them. You can't just say, well, I need to average it out. You need to base it based on the game itself. Twilight Princess was a fucking amazing game. It was dark themed. It was adult themed. Had Midna. You got to transfer between Wolf Link and regular Link. Had double hook shots. Had some fantastic dungeons.
Did it?
The spinner. The best dungeon of all Zelda.
It's not the best dungeon.
Yeah.
Grading a curve? Yeah, I was thinking like we were rating all the Zelda dungeons against each other, not like...
I'm not grading on a curve.
Against dungeons in general. Or games in general. So for me, it's a mix between... Is it better than Skyward, or is Skyward better than Twilight?
Well, I've said S.
So
that automatically bumps it to A.
You like it more than A Link to the Past?
Well, A Link to the Past is A as well.
No, it's not.
Well, for me it was.
Well, we compromised.
Well, I said S, so you figure out the compromise.
Do you like it more than Ocarina?
Yes.
All right, the compromise is between Wind Waker and Ocarina.
I said S tier. I put it above Wind Waker.
Well, that was a compromise because
Okay.
I would put it way down here because I will never concede that Twilight is worse than Wind Waker or better than Wind Waker. All right, the original Legend of Zelda. I think the original Legend of Zelda was still a good game, right? So it's just old. So I think I would put it between it's not a C game though. Yeah, it's a C game these days.
I put it B tier, right ahead of Skyward Sword.
Right at the end of B tier.
Right ahead of Skyward Sword.
I wouldn't put it above Link's Awakening.
I would.
All right, so how do we compromise since we're
Put it in between Skyward Sword and Link's Awakening.
If we compromise, but you get what you want.
I put it above Skyward Sword.
Oh, you mean but that
I would put it there.
here?
Yes.
So
maybe even above Majora's Mask.
Definitely not. And the final game, the Adventure of Link, F tier.
F tier.
For sure.
Terrible game. Horrible.
All right, well, now that we're looking at this, are there any clear mistakes?
Yeah, Twilight's not S tier.
I think most Zelda fans would say it's a mistake that Twilight's now like down in C.
Let's see. Link to the Past is not S tier. That's wrong. Ocarina's not S tier. That's wrong.
Yoda even thinks Twilight is
Thank
S
you,
tier?
Yoda. Yes, Twilight is S tier. That is an S tier game.
Okay, well, we figured it out.
I'm telling you on you.
What are you going to tell him?
That you ranked Twilight not S.
I don't care. Let's save this. Boom. Should we rate something else?
I don't know what we would rate.
What about what's something we both really love? We do like Resident Evil characters or monsters, or like Mario characters, or 3D Mario games, or Mario items, or Smash Bros characters.
Oh god, that's a lot of characters.
That is a lot of characters.
Yeah, that would take a while.
Or like types of food. We can even go out of video games. A bunch of research. Hey, which one would you say you all disagree the most in the Zelda tier?
Which one would we disagree on most?
I would probably say Link to the Past. No,
that's B tier. We compromised and said B. So probably
Breath of the Wild. Well, no, because I think Breath of the Wild is S tier as well. I just don't think it's the best one.
Probably Skyward Sword being a third-rate B tier game.
Yeah, because I really like Skyward Sword just because of its story. It has the best Zelda story.
That's the thing, though. He's all about the story. And I'm like, some of these Zelda games are so fun to play regardless of the story. Like Link to the Past, it's just fun to play. But he's like, well, the story. Like, that's, for me, Breath of the Wild. He says the story's not there. There is a story. It tells two stories at the same time. But that's not the point of the game.
There's like,
go out and explore.
You know how long that
fun.
If you explored the whole story, you know how long that game is?
What game?
Breath of the Wild. It's like 200 hours. You know how many minutes of like story is in it? Like 20.
No, it tells two stories at once. You just learn as you go.
Yeah, but
we don't need cutscenes.
About 20 minutes of story.
No, there's a lot more behind it.
And I think I'm being generous.
And you pick it up as you go. Through talking to people.
And you have to find the memories if you want.
Yes, and that's part of the game, and that's what makes you go out and explore.
And nobody does that if they're not a completionist.
Because there's never been a Zelda game that makes you go out and explore a world.
You can go kill Ganondorf immediately. And then you don't even know.
But that's then your own fault for not taking part in what the game's meaning is to go out and explore. The game is meant to tell you, go out, explore the world, have fun. Learn new things. That's what it's about. That's why it's so hard in the beginning.
I don't disagree with you, but I do think
You're fighting hard to make it seem like you do.
I do think the story is told extremely poorly in that game.
You're.
I think it's a decent story, but as big as that game is, there needed to be a lot more of the story. You watch the story trailer from Breath of the Wild before it came out today, it makes it seem way cooler than it really is.
And Skyward Sword, I don't even remember much of the story.
It's been
because it's a forgettable game.
It's been many years.
No, because it's a forgettable game. Because the gameplay's not as fun. It doesn't make you remember. It doesn't make you fall in love with it. Whereas Breath of the Wild, you fall in love with the game. So you want to learn about it.
Name the champions
of Breath of the Wild
and their descendants.
Ralredania, Bombado. There's the lizard.
You're naming the guardian beasts.
Oh, the champions. There's Rudania.
No.
Oh, that's the beast. You would ask me this when I've been drinking. It's the Goron. There's
the Goron.
There's the Goron. There's Rivali.
Okay, good.
There's the Zora.
There's the Zora, guys.
And there's the Gerudo lady.
He did so good. He remembered their races.
I can't remember their names. It's if I was sober, I'd remember. Don't tell me. Mifa.
There you go. That's one of them.
There's Mifa.
Which race is Mifa?
She's the Zora.
Good job.
The Gerudo lady is Naboris. Nabora.
You're really close.
Shut up, I'm close enough. It's her. Naburu.
That's the Ocarina of Time sage.
Nabora. Naboro. It's Nabor something.
Urbosa.
Urbosa, that one. Rivali.
You got 3 of them now. What's the Goron's name?
What's the Goron's name? It's what's the fucking Goron's name? He even gives us a little protection spell.
Blast protection is ready to roll!
Yeah. I don't remember. Daruk, yeah.
Alright, what about their descendants?
I don't give a shit about their descendants.
They were important characters too.
They were not.
You're gonna be spitting about the story. You gotta remember the story.
I remember the story. I just don't remember names. Like you're that weird asshole that like in Skyward Sword and be like, who's the bully? And you're like, oh, this guy.
I do.
I don't have a memory like that.
I'm not as good at it anymore, but I used to be like really. I remember everybody's name. And when people didn't remember my name, I would get offended. Another tier list, or what time is it?
It is 9 o'clock.
What would be an easy tier list?
I don't know. I say we pack it up.
Alrighty. Okie dokie. I think it's time we end there. You're not mad at me, right?
No.
Alright. Just know that all my opinions are right and yours are wrong.
You're so full of shit.
Thank you.